guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing my March reading wrap up. So today I'm going to be talking about everything I read in March that was not part of Galaxy-a-thon, which was my space-themed readathon we did at the beginning of March. So I will link my Galaxy-a-thon reading wrap up where I'm reading all space-themed books. This is going to be technically part one of my March reading wrap up with the first 2 weeks of March. And now we're going to talk about everything I read after the readathon. So I read / listened to a total of 6 books. I had a pretty good second half of March, other than one book that we're going to talk about in a second. Finishing up some more series, getting in a couple new releases. Overall, it was pretty fabulous. So we're going to go in order from least favorite to favorite. All of these I did on audiobook except for a graphic novel that I'll talk about at the end. Still a little bit in a physical reading slump. I've just been not very good about just sitting down, relaxing, and reading. So I've got some things in place to hopefully fix this in the next couple of months, but we'll see how it goes. I will list all the narrators for the audiobooks as well while I'm talking about them, and we're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna skip over to 2 stars because I did not have any 1 stars this month. And honestly, this was like the biggest shock of the year so far, but I gave Space Oddity by Catherine M. Valente 2.5 stars. And I don't want to discourage you entirely. First book in this duology is Space Opera, and this is Space Oddity, the technical sequel that came out several years after Space Opera came out. Space Opera is one of my favorite sci-fi books of all time. I absolutely loved it. It is very much in the style of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Aliens come to Earth and they announce that they're going to destroy our planet if we don't send one of our kind to their intergalactic competition, which is kind of like a music / talent show where all the species compete. We just have to make sure not to get in last place and Earth will get to live. So this washed up rock star gets chosen. He was like popular back in his day but hasn't done music in a while, and he goes on this spacefaring adventure. We have a very fun narrator via Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy style. It's very much like over on planet Zorp, the Zorp people live with glue and they eat glue for lunch and they enjoy the glue. And it's just really silly, wacky stuff like that you're getting little narrations. That continues in this book. However, in the first book, it is very like plot and character focused as well, along with the narration. The narration just felt very fun and like a good add-on to the overall story. But in this one, it felt like it was all narration. Like I can't even tell you who the main characters were because we were learning so much about the different planets and the universe, and there was so much wacky, silly narration that there was very little plot and very little characters. We didn't get to see a lot of the characters that we loved in the first book. It almost felt like a silly textbook of the universe. Like the writing style was good and the narration style is the same. There was just so much of it and hardly any characters or of the main story. We were just bouncing back and forth learning about all the different planets and everything. And so for me, I actually wound up DNFing this at 80%, which I never do. I had like an hour left and I was listening and I was like, I am only finishing this to mark it read on Goodreads. So I just went ahead and marked it read because I was 80% in. I got the gist. I didn't feel like anything was going to change in that last hour to bump up my rating. So unfortunately, I'll be unhauling this one, but I still highly recommend the first one. And it's worth giving it a shot if you loved the first one, because I think I might be in the minority on this, but I did see a few other people that had similar vibes. The narrator is incredible, so I loved him, but this was such a bummer because I was so excited for this one. And then this is very exciting. We jump up to the 4 stars and up for the rest of the books. So continuing on with my giant series buddy read for the year, we are reading through the Veronica Speedwell series. This is a Victorian era murder mystery romance series, and it is so freaking delightful. So this is book 2, so I can't say really anything about this one, but the first book follows Veronica Speedwell. She is this unique, independent lady who collects and studies butterflies for a living. She has different suitors across the globe and she travels and she is very unordinary for her time. And then when her great aunt dies, she goes to settle her affairs. She winds up meeting up with this particular man who has information about her family, and they kind of get attacked, and so he decides to hide her with one of his friends until they can kind of figure out what's going on and why they're getting followed. And his friend is like this grumpy, sunshine, adorable character who studies like animals and things like that for a living. And then the man that brought her to this man, whose name is Stoker, gets murdered and they have to solve his murder together. So it is just the funnest, cutest time. It's got a little bit of like Emily Wilde's vibes because it's set in that Victorian era, and we have this like strong, willful female and this like sassy male character, except Stoker is a lot more like a Mr. Darcy grumpy sunshine guy than Wendell in Emily Wilde's, who's like an airy, well-dressed, soft-tempered man. So they're definitely different, and the romance in here is extremely slow burn, really cute, not the main focus. Like their main focus is like their adventures and uncovering things about their past slowly as the novels go on. The first one I gave like a 3.5. I really had a good time with it, but I wasn't like super obsessed, but I loved this one, so I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Now that we're fully in the world and invested in the characters, I'm like all in. I've already started book 3 and I'm really enjoying it as well. Each one has a little bit of a different tone to it with the style of murder that they're having to solve, and then we carry on with things that happened in the past books, so definitely read them in order. But the narrator is amazing and I'm having the best time. Then I did another buddy read with one of my friends and we read The Otherwhere Post by Emily J. Taylor. This is the author of Hotel Magnifique. This is her second book. This is a YA standalone that I really enjoy. I'm going to read you the synopsis. I feel like it will do a better job than me. 7 years ago, Maeve Abernathy lost her world, her father, and even her name. Desperate to escape the stain of her father's crimes, she lives under a fake name and never stays in one place long enough to put down roots. Then she receives a mysterious letter with 4 impossible words: "Your father was innocent." To uncover the truth, she poses as an apprentice for the Otherwhere Post, where she'll be trained in the art of scriptomancy, the dangerous magic that allows couriers to enchant letters and deliver them to other worlds. But looking into her father's past draws more attention than she had planned. Her secretive and infuriatingly handsome mentor knows she's lying about her identity, and time is running out for her to convince him to trust her. Worse, she begins to receive threatening letters warning her to drop her investigation or else. For Maeve to unravel the mystery of what happened 7 years ago, she may have to forfeit her life. This is such a unique, like, it is so good. Her writing has improved and I really liked Hotel Magnifique like a lot, but this world where we get to deliver magical letters to other worlds and cross over into different worlds is so fun, and the romance between the two characters is adorable. It reminded me very loosely of Divine Rivals just because we have a lot with writing and letters and kind of the whimsicalness of it. A little bit of like Sorcery of Thorns as well. I loved the characters so much. Maeve is very unique. She is a very flawed yet lovable main character, and our love interest is just one of the most fun, sweet characters as well. I thought the world building was really good. The magic was really interesting. It had just enough action, a nice slow burn romance. It was great. This one was like a 4.5. I might bump it up to a 5-star if I keep kind of thinking about it because I really enjoyed it. The narrator for this one was absolutely incredible. I highly recommend this one. It's definitely one of my favorite new releases I've read so far. All right, next I'm going to talk about Antimatter Blues by Edward Ashton. So I read Mickey 7, the first book in the duology for Galaxy-a-thon. I talk about that one in the wrap up. I enjoyed Mickey 7, but I loved this one. And I don't know if it's because we were already like in the world and I didn't have to like learn anything new, but I could just go on a new adventure with the characters that I enjoyed. But this is now one of my favorite sci-fi duologies. So in Mickey 7, we're following Mickey. He's kind of like a slacker, somewhat like loser type character on Earth. He winds up getting into some gambling debt and owes a lot of money to some really bad people. And he decides to take a position aboard this spacecraft as an expendable. He's not entirely sure what he signed up for, but the gist of it is that they will use him to do different things on the journey and on the planet when they arrive, and then if he dies they just reclone him. So they use him to like test vaccines or to go out into the air to see if it's breathable, to do certain missions and things that are dangerous, and he just keeps getting reprinted. He's on his 7th run and he winds up falling into kind of this hole on this planet, and they think that he's done for, so they kind of leave him there to die. He winds up getting out of the hole, coming back to the base, and finding that they have already reprinted Mickey 8. So him and Mickey 8 are trying to figure out how to stay alive. It's illegal to have duplicates on the ship. The first book is like very chill, and I don't want to say slow, but not super action-packed. You're kind of just following Mickey and his friends and learning different things, and stuff is happening, but it's just like really chill. I don't know how else to say it. This book, I feel like there was a lot more action, but the gist of these is that you just love the characters and the little adventures that they're going on. This would be such a good one for a beginner with sci-fi because it's a little bit more on the simple side. I absolutely loved the narrator, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. It was just under a 5-star because I had the best time. All right, lastly, I have 2 5 stars. So we have Space Boy Boy Volume 20. I've talked about this like a ton in all of my wrap-ups. This is one of the only graphic novel series that I'm keeping up with. One of the only physical things that I am reading. I don't want to say too much because I talk about it a lot, but it is such an amazing sci-fi young adult graphic novel series. Like, it is so good. Even if you feel like you might not like graphic novels, this is the one that I would suggest you start with because it is just so engaging and the characters are amazing. The art's incredible. I hope it never ends. So 5 stars. Okay, lastly, my favorite book of the year so far, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. My heart. Oh my gosh, you guys. I did not pre-order this one because I was hoping there would be like a special edition somewhere, or I figured it'd be kind of easy to find used. But after finishing it, I went and pre-ordered the UK regular edition because it has like a cool naked book, and I just had to have a copy because I loved it so much. So for those of you that don't know, this is a prequel to The Hunger Games. It would technically be book 2 if you're going to read them in order. I would always suggest reading the Hunger Games trilogy first, then reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which follows President Snow's youth, and then this book, which follows Haymitch and his Hunger Games story. And Haymitch is one of the most beloved characters from the Hunger Games. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was so interesting because you knew what was going to happen to the characters and a lot of the situations, but the way that they happened and how it was written kept it like exciting and interesting, and she makes you love the characters so much. Like, I couldn't believe how much I fell for some of these new characters, and the way that Haymitch's like story arc and character journey developed was so incredible. It's heartbreaking, it's tragic, it's kind of depressing, and I couldn't stop reading it. The narrator for this one, oh my god, absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed Ballad. I gave it 4 stars, but this one, 5 stars. The arena was so interesting. It was just beautifully written. Like, her writing has improved so much, and it was so lovely. So I cannot recommend it enough. But again, if you are new to the Hunger Games, make sure you read the Hunger Games first, because I feel like the prequels will have a bigger impact on you if you've read the original story. If we get enough of these, I will do like a reading order video. I don't know if she's going to do any more. She kind of blessed us with this book, and it was definitely not like a throwaway money grab type of book. Like, it was thoughtful and well done. It left a lot of us in reading slumps, and definitely my favorite book of the year so far. Okay, so that is everything I read for the second half of March. I feel like it went really well. I found some things that just really made me happy, and that's always exciting, even if the books were not necessarily happy reads. I'm going to try to keep up with doing monthly wrap-ups. We'll see how it goes throughout the year. Let me know what your favorite book that you read in March was, or if you've read any of these, or if you plan to. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @thebrightside_girl and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I usually post 2 videos every week, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side. If we get enough of these, I will do like a reading order video. I don't know if she's going to do any more. She kind of blessed us with this book, and it was definitely not like a throwaway money grab type of book. Like, it was thoughtful and well done. It left a lot of us in reading slumps, and definitely my favorite book of the year so far. Okay, so that is everything I read for the second half of March. I feel like it went really well. I found some things that just really made me happy, and that's always exciting, even if the books were not necessarily happy reads. I'm going to try to keep up with doing monthly wrap-ups. We'll see how it goes throughout the year. Let me know what your favorite book that you read in March was, or if you've read any of these, or if you plan to. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @thebrightside_girl and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I usually post 2 videos every week, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.